Hello beautiful Mabuhay and welcome to Jay's Nest. Today is a community collab, okay? We are doing what I wish I knew about cloth diapers before starting. A lot of variations of that title, but that subject. Check the description box down below for the playlist of this because there are tons of amazing people who are doing this collaboration, and if you're interested in some advice, some helpful tips, and what people wish they knew before they started cloth diapering, check out that playlist. Lots of videos there. Lots of people also participating on Instagram and Facebook, just sharing their stories. I'll leave the hashtags down below, and so you can go to Instagram and search those hashtags and read people's stories and read people's graphics and their advice. Today I'm just going to share a bit of my story. This is not necessarily advice. Some of it is, some of it is not. Some of it is just my own personal experience and like what I would tell 2014, 2015-year-old me who was doing research, who dove into cloth diapering for the first time. What I would tell that version of myself. This is what I would tell her. I started doing research in the summer of 2014, and then in January of 2015, I gave birth to my third child, and she was the first one to be cloth diapered. So this is what I would tell 2015-year-old me. Do the hemp inserts, okay? Invest in good quality absorbency. It makes a difference. Hazel was the first child that I cloth diapered, and she was a super heavy wetter. She was also a flutter. We went through so many issues with rashes, wash routine issues, absorbency issues, flooding issues. I started off with microfiber for the first 6 months, which worked just fine, but I did not want to invest in hemp or good quality absorbency. I just wanted to use the cheapest thing possible. Now you can use cheap things. I don't think I have them here. But I love receiving blankets. I use a lot of receiving blankets. You can repurpose those. All the receiving blankets that I have, I've gotten for free. But like hemp inserts have been amazing in my cloth diaper journey. They are a staple in my stash. Bamboo inserts, hemp inserts, all of these things have been a staple in my stash. I wish I just would have invested in this in the beginning and not been scared, because this can make or break your experience. If you don't have enough absorbency for your child, you're going to be dealing with leaks and it's going to be extremely frustrating. And these are awesome to keep around when your child needs more absorbency. So let's just say you're using a stretchy flat. Just using a stretchy flat in your pocket diapers or your covers, and this works fine. But as your child gets older, they need more absorbency. And your child leaks out of every single stretchy flat. You don't want to put 2 stretchy flats because I feel like maybe 2 stretchy flats would be too thick of a diaper on your child, right? Well, that's where these hemp and bamboo inserts come in handy. They make amazing little boosters. Even though they're not technically a booster, they make a great boost of absorbency inside of your diapers. My next piece of advice would have to do with the mom groups. Do these people truly want to see the best in you? Are these people truly rooting for you? I've met amazing women along the way before my Jay's Nest even got big at all. My Jay's Nest page really started to grow around 2018, but I've been on YouTube since 2015. So even when I had 100 followers, 34 followers, you know what I mean? I've met people along the way that I'm still friends with today. And these women are amazing. They're supportive. They've been through all these stages of life with me. They've grown with me. They've developed with me. But there have also been people who just haven't been. Just like icky stuff, right? Just this icky energy of not truly supporting people, this air of jealousy. Just because you're in a mom group and you find other people who are also moms or parents, right? Not just moms, because not everybody who watches this is a mom. Other parents or caretakers, that shouldn't be your only qualifier for them to be your friend. Now that can be a hard lesson to learn, and I think there's value in the lesson. I don't regret anything that has happened in my past. It has all helped shape me and mold me and form me into who I am today with the wisdom that I have and the perspectives that I have. And what I've realized in this past year is I've been surrounding myself with people who want to uplift me because I want to uplift people. I want to create a genuine space where we can uplift each other, where we can share stories without judgment and build each other up, because I've seen the opposite. I've let people in who have been the opposite. So now I'm learning to trust my intuition, trusting that inner voice. And like when people's vibe feels off, I'm not going to get close to you, period. I might talk to you, but I'm not going to get close to you. I learned my lesson, right? So I think the same goes for these mom groups. Is sometimes online it can be kind of hard to read people's intentions or their energy. I do believe it is an energy exchange, and you can feel, especially if you're empathic, if you're an empath, you can feel like what people are saying behind their words, but it is a lot harder online So it can be a little harder to feel people's intention, because when you are hanging out with people in person, like half of our expression is through our body language, through the way that we move our face and we move our hands, and paired with the tone of our voice, right? All of this creates how we mold how people are speaking to us, if that makes sense. Not everybody is a good person, and not everybody wants to see you succeed. Not everybody is there to build you up. And we can grow so much as people if we have people who are genuinely rooting for us, who genuinely want us to succeed. And not as a codependent thing where you're leaning on them and you're just like, I need people to believe in me. But like first believing in yourself, believing that you can do things. And sometimes that comes with inner work, facing the wounded inner child. I've been doing a lot of inner child work, facing my inner child, understanding where a lot of these wounds come from. If we think about the subconscious mind, it's programmed in the first 7 years of life. And so the subconscious mind is where we like behave and act and think. Like 90% of our actions, our behaviors, all in our patterns all come from the subconscious mind. Over 90% of how we behave and move through our day like robots, like on automation. That's the subconscious mind, which is programmed in the first 7 years of life. And if your parents were not emotionally intelligent, if they weren't there for you, then you got some shit to reprogram in your subconscious mind. It's a whole thing. It's a whole deep dive, right? And I feel like questioning who is in your inner circle and like creating new inner circles, or meeting people who are quite nicer and more supportive, some of that does come with the inner work, because you have to believe in yourself. And for me, even believing in myself had to come with inner work. Like, it sounds so simple, like, yeah, I can believe in myself, then I'll meet other people who believe in me too. But that came with a lot of inner work, because there's this unworthiness wound that I have, right? Just growing up, I always felt unworthy, and I'm still working through layers of that now. That's a very common theme that I'm working through right now. So that's that was a mouthful. But yeah, just because someone's a parent or a mom or they cloth diaper doesn't mean they qualify to be your friend. Next, flat diapers, baby. You guys already know, I love me some flats. I hand dyed quite a few flats. I even have more flats downstairs that I'm hand dyeing. I'm just loving this process. I wish I would have done flats in the beginning. I don't know why. I think, okay, I do know why. I was so scared to try these. I thought these were just so old-fashioned. Everybody made it seem like these were so complicated. These were the hardest diapering system. And to be honest, I find all-in-ones and fitteds to be the hardest diapering system because they're harder to clean. Yeah, flat diapers, you gotta fold that shit. I just fold into a rectangle because for me, that's simple. They wash easily, they dry easily. They've been so forgiving when it comes to wash routine. So if you struggle with wash routine, these are amazing. I see why I was scared of these back then, because of all the information that was put out onto the internet. But like, I love this system. This is my favorite system. I'm so glad that I found flats. The Flats and Hand Washing Challenge in 2018? Yeah, 2018. Made me fall in love with flats. There's something about hand washing your flats that gives you a deep respect for flat diapers. And so after doing that challenge, I fell in love. I fell in love with flat diapers. If I could time travel back in time, I would hand myself a stack of stretchy flats and muslin flats and tell her Merry Christmas. Wash routines. I don't like talking about wash routines. I made a video months ago about why I don't like wash routines. I just don't like talking about wash routines because, one, I'm not an expert. Just because I make YouTube videos and I have a camera doesn't make me an expert. Two, I've had my own wash routine struggles over the years, okay? That's just the truth. There are way too many factors into it for me to help you troubleshoot your cloth diapering wash routine. And I'm just not an expert. I don't have enough experience with other people's wash routines to really have a good consensus. I've ran into so many issues, and what I've realized is a huge part of the issue that people are constantly overlooking when it comes to wash routine is agitation. All the issues I've had over the years, a lot of it had to do with too much detergent. Yeah, baby. If you're using flat diapers and you're using 2 capfuls of detergent in the wash, baby, that's too much. That's too much. I stand firm in that. That is too much detergent.
Put your diapers in some hot water in a bowl, okay? Swish it around. Tell me what you see. If you're using flat diapers and 2 caps of detergent, baby,
Now, agitation. Okay, let's get back to agitation. Agitation is a huge thing. Sometimes people are using too many diapers in their laundry and there's not enough room for things to move around. Other times, there's not enough diapers and there's too much room moving around and not enough things rubbing together. What makes your cloth diaper routine effective is the fabrics rubbing against each other, agitating, right? This is how they're getting clean. They're all like dancing with each other, baby. My washer has horrible agitation. I have a plunger that I keep next to my washer and I have to plunge my diapers. I've been doing this for years. It's how I get my diapers clean. My washer is crap and I'm not getting a new washer. So I have what I have and I have to make it work. But I do also think people overcomplicate their wash routines. There are times where people's diapers get too stinky or they cause burns on their babies. You know, when the diapers start causing burns on your baby, that can be a serious issue, but it's also hard to troubleshoot that. Sometimes it can be the laundry detergent, sometimes it could be buildup, sometimes your babies are getting burnt because they have acidic poop or they're teething. There are a lot of weird things that can actually cause your child to have poops that like burn them. But again, I just think people way overcomplicate it. You don't need an approved routine. If your wash routine is off, adjust it. Like it's really that simple. It's a mindset thing. I think the approved routines and worksheets and stuff like that come from a good space of like trying to help tens of thousands of people, right? I'm not sure how we can better help the community when it comes to wash routines. This is why I don't help people with wash routines, because I don't have a solution and I wish I could. And I'm not trying to give out wash routine advice and then a lot of people fail because of it. And if I think we can work on the mindset first and how we view wash routines, then I think we can go in and help troubleshoot things. Because we just often block out like our thought processes and how that affects how we see the world. Like our thought processes, our feelings and our emotions, it skews how we see the world, how we perceive the world, how we react to things. And so if we can find ways to really ground these things, like sit down for a second and breathe and look at things from a neutral standpoint, then we can find better solutions. Oftentimes we see things on the scale. I see it a lot in this community when people are doing reviews or when we're talking about people or whatever it is. There's just this huge scale of like, it's either positive or it's negative, but there is a neutral standpoint. I call it the point of neutrality. Atoms show us this, right? They have positive, negative, and neutral charges. Atoms create matter. Matter create this reality. So this reality is made of positive, negative, and neutral charges, right? And the neutral charges is that like point of observation. And this is good life advice, okay? This is good life advice. If you need some life advice, here you go. Step back and take a neutral standpoint. Learn how to exercise that neutral point where things aren't positive or negative, and you become the observer of your reality. You become the observer of your you become the observer of your situation, okay? And you learn how to observe things without judgment. This is the point of non-judgment, the point of neutrality, the point of observation. Just observing things and taking it in from a non-biased standpoint, from a non-judgmental standpoint. And you can find solutions a lot quicker that way. I think that is a lot of the problem in our community. So many things are really polarized, but like we can bring it to center for a second to observe reality, to take all the information in and come up with real solutions for people in this community. I feel like as the state of the world is like, I don't even know how to explain it, but you know what I mean. It's like this. More people are going to be coming to cloth diapering. We've seen a huge rush of people flood in the past year for cloth diapering. A lot of people lost their jobs because of the pandemic. And then a lot of cloth diaper companies are booming right now. Thirsties is booming. Green Mountain Diapers is booming. Green Mountain Diapers wasn't doing as well and they were struggling, and then the pandemic happened and then boom, they're like selling out of everything and they have to go get more, and now they're booming with business, which is beautiful. We're going to see more and more of that within the next decade. A lot of people are turning to cloth diapering, and I want to make sure that we can hold a safe space for people, a solid space for people to come here and feel comfortable and to not feel so polarized on each side of the damn spectrum. It just doesn't need to be so complicated, okay? It doesn't need to be so complicated. We don't have to make things so tough on ourselves, and we don't have to make things so tough on others. But like I said, I'm not a fountain of solutions, but I do think the way that we perceive things and the way that we go about things, I do think we could take more neutral standpoints to really observe and come up with solutions from those points of observation. And I guess the last thing that I want to say to my past self is like, baby, slow down on collecting all those diapers, okay? I want a little cray-cray buying all those diapers. buying a lot of diapers. My stash has just been a revolving door over the years. Buying diapers, buying, selling, buying, selling. And I've made videos on this, and it actually stems from a mental health space of wanting to fill a void on the inside and just trying to fill it with stuff. For a long time, filled it with food, right? Sweets, baby. I love sweets. Sweets and breads, all that stuff. Filling my emotions with food, and just buying a bunch of diapers to fill this void of emptiness that I felt in my marriage, in my life. I just felt alone. I didn't feel like I had a lot of close friends anymore. I spent a huge majority of my life, especially my teen years, with close friends, like true sisters. And then when I got married, I just isolated myself from everybody, and it was such a lonely period. It honestly felt like my own quarantine. I'm not even joking. Like, some years I didn't even see people. Some friends I didn't talk to for years. I was just so isolated and so depressed. And I didn't reach out to those people because I was depressed, and I wish they would have reached out to me. Whew, that makes me emotional, but you know, those early years of parenthood can be hard, and they can be tough, and they can be emotional, and they can feel so lonely. And so I turned to buying diapers to fill that void. And if I could go back in time, I would tell her, baby, slow down, right? Slow down on buying all those diapers, but also, like, look within, you know, connect with your heart. Don't be afraid to find yourself. Don't lose yourself in these waves of motherhood and parenthood. Go do something for yourself. Go put your bare feet on the grass, baby. It feels so good. Let that sun touch your skin. Feel the wind. Listen to the wind and the trees. It's so healing. I spent a lot of time losing myself, but I think that was important for me to refine myself. You know, sometimes you have to hit rock bottom and hit those dark spaces within yourself so that you can rebuild completely into a new person, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Your whole life burns down to nothing, and you're at the bottom. And you have no choice but to build and to go up from there. A lot of us have those stories, and it's remarkable. It's remarkable listening to people's life stories and the things that they've endured and the things that they've been through, and just starting from the bottom and rebuilding their whole life up. The rebuilding sucks, but the rebuilding is also empowering because you realize your power to rebuild, redefine who you are, creating a new reality through perspective, through feeling, because you've seen the scale. You've seen how low things can get for you, and you realize you can rebuild and go to higher heights than you ever have, because you take all the wisdom from the depths of where you've been and you bring it up to the top. Since starting cloth diapering, motherhood has been up and down for me. Some of the darkest depressions I've ever had. I became a mother at 15. I'm now 27. Okay. Became a mother at 15. And I had some dark depressions during those times as well. And no one really talks about how hard it is to go through those waves of depression and loneliness as you're also trying to raise other people, right? And guide people, because we don't own our children. We're the teachers and the guides for them. In fact, they're the teachers to us in some senses, right? And we guide them through this lifetime, and we raise them to be people, and then they go out into the world. Our babies are only babies for like a year or two. And if we live up to be 80 years old, from the time we're 18 to 80 years old, we're adults. That means literally almost our whole life, we're adults. Our children are only children and babies for such a small time. And it's hard to enjoy when you have a lot of anxiety or you have a lot of depression. And the way that I found my way out of that was just finding myself. So if I could go back in time and hug myself in 2015, I would tell her to find herself. That sometimes these diapers can be sentimental, right? Sometimes they can hold meaning and be a symbol of something. They're art. You know, sometimes I buy diapers because I'm like, oh, that reminds me of this memory I had. And so my stash becomes this collection of shit catchers that hold a sentimental meaning to me because of the pattern and print and the art on them. But if I really want to make my life more meaningful, it starts from within, not without. Not on the outside, not in these things. But the true sentimental and meaningful things, they come from within. It's a feeling. And I could buy hundreds of cloth diapers and still not feel fulfilled. Even though I felt great while buying them, it doesn't fill the void. It doesn't truly fill the void that is within. So I would hug myself in 2015 and tell her to find herself. Because that's where the true sentiment, that's where the true value, that's where that is. Not in the diapers. Not in the diapers, baby. It's in here, in the heart space. Keep working on that heart. Keep strengthening that heart. Look, I ain't perfect, okay? I'm human. I get angry. I have ups and downs, but learning how to tune into your heart, strengthening your heart, softening your heart, probably one of the most powerful things I've learned so far in this lifetime that I've lived. I feel like I've lived 10 lifetimes in this lifetime already. I feel like I'm about to live 10 more. Just keep shedding different versions of myself and shedding and shedding and shedding, and it's uncomfortable. And you get stuck in this. Sometimes you can get stuck in this in-between of who you used to be, who you are becoming, but who are you right now? In this weird in-between. That's where I'm at. In this weird in-between. Not who I was, not who I'm becoming, but in between. Alright. Long video. If there's anything you do for yourself, find yourself. Learn about yourself. Learn about yourself. Yeah. That means a lot of things to me. Learn about yourself. But I'll let you figure out what that means to you. I won't over-explain. Maybe you can catch the vibe. But learn about yourself. It'll change you. It will change you. Alright guys, that is it for today's video. Maybe not exactly what you're expecting, or maybe exactly what you're expecting. I don't know. This was just a free flow. This was J Jabber style. So usually videos like this, I'll write down what I want to say, but this was all freestyle. So I love you guys. Tell me down below what you guys wish you would have known about cloth diapering before you started. What would you tell your past self? Specifically your past self. Not advice you would give other people, but what if you could truly look at yourself when you first started cloth diapering and you could whisper secrets from the future into the past to give yourself hidden nuggets of knowledge, right? What would you tell her or him or them? All right, I love you guys. Thank you for sharing the space with me. I need to go cry. I'm just in this weird in-between where I am shedding, which for me comes with a lot of waters. I'm really into astrology. My progressed moon right now is in Scorpio. And that is that's the moon sign I was born with, is Scorpio. So right now I'm in a season of water, which makes me really introverted. It's making me cry, baby. But anyways, love you guys. I'll talk to you later.